Hey guys, this is Joel here. I was so blessed and honored and honestly convicted to teach such an amazing passage of Scripture just a couple days ago on Sunday morning through Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. And I think it's such a timely message for us. But even as I say that, man, when is that never an untimely message? I mean, that message, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That message, that passage, it is always in season for us. It is always the right time for us to hear that message. It's always convicting to my heart, and especially when you do, like we did on Sunday morning, we went back and we read the entire chapter of Romans 12. It's so convicting to see the way that Jesus is calling us to live amongst this world. I think of Philippians chapter 2 that says that we're to stand out and shine as lights in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. And that described Paul's generation, and it describes our generation. It describes the world around us. And so tonight you guys will be talking about how to not be conformed to this world. And remember, I talked about how it's not just in our beliefs, not just in the way that we vote, or even just our morals. It's also about the way that we engage. Are we engaging as kingdom people who are poor in spirit, who mourn over the state of the world, who are gentle and meek and peacemakers and pure in heart and hunger and thirst for righteousness, who are merciful and who gladly accept persecution as part of the cost of following Jesus. And so I want you guys to just think through all those ways. How can we be unconformed to this world and all of our actions in those ways? You'll talk about how to set your gaze on Jesus. And so as I wrote that question, what are some of the ways that you do or that you want to start doing more to set your gaze upon Jesus? Remember, praying the promises of God to actually sanctify you and setting your gaze upon the glory of Christ are the two means that the Spirit's going to use to transform you by the renewal of your mind. So think of out-of-the-box ways. Obviously, I think the real obvious answer to that question, how do you set your gaze on Jesus, is by spending time alone in His presence. Each and every day. But think outside the box. Think of how you feel. What are you feeling with your mind with as you drive or you do dishes? What is the priority of church in your life? And again, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys go to life groups. That's part of it. Going to life group is part of how you set your gaze on Jesus in the middle of your week. So I really pray that your discussion's fruitful tonight, that it's thought-provoking, that you really start thinking of ways practically in your life that you've been conformed to this world and you need to change. And that you start thinking of ways that you need to start better setting your gaze upon Jesus and even your most just mundane moments of life. That you'd start thinking about God's will and what that means for you. What about those little, I said something in our question number 3 about unpremeditated decisions. We make so many of those, from just waking up in the morning and what am I going to eat for breakfast and brushing my teeth and just little decisions we make throughout the day without even thinking about it. I want us to think of those decisions as well as the big ones in life. Who do I marry? What job do I get? All sorts of things. Where should I live? And how does a transformed life, that's a renewed mind, how does that affect the way that we make those little decisions and those big decisions that we don't have a chapter and verse for in Scripture? So I love you guys. Pray you're blessed by your discussion tonight. Have a great time.